Did you hate Solo, a Star Wars story? Did it kill Star Wars? Did it ruin your childhood or whatever?
Well, what do you know?
Well, lucky for you, I am here. This is It Could Have Been Worse, a show where I take a movie you didn't like and show you how bad it could have gotten so you can find some zen, some closure, some inner peace and balance, or I just annoy the shit out of you for a two. Or I just annoy the shit out of you for two. Or I just annoy the shit out of you for. Or I just annoy. I got southern. Or I just annoy you for 10 minutes. Either or. Solo, it was divisive. Just like Last Jedi was divisive, and Rogue One, and Force Awakens, and the prequels apparently are divisive because, sure. Return of the Jedi was really divisive. God, now I'm just tired. This is an empty cup. Anyway, you didn't like Solo. I hear ya. The movie fan in me didn't like the movie, but the Star Wars fan in me liked all the Star Wars things. And that's why the depression fan in me tells me that I'm part of the problem every day. But guys, let's all just say it together, it could have been worse. Maybe you hated the entire origin aspect of the movie. You didn't need to see how Han got his ship, or his friend, or his gun, or his last name. Well, could have been worse, because you could have seen him as a sweet little baby boy. In drafts of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, George Lucas included a cameo appearance by a small boy named Han Solo, who had been adopted by the Wookiees. Yeah, an adorable little boy getting yelled at by Chewie and Malla. And then he poops his little pants and he looks at the camera and he says, "I've got a bad feeling about this." What is George Lucas's deal with babies? Vader, Boba, Greedo, Luke, Leia, there is no better way to take the mystique out of something than to show it when it was a weird little awkward kid. That's why, to maintain max sex appeal, I had all my childhood photos burned. What if you just wanted to see news stories about Han and Chewie and not tales that you've heard about so many times before that you might as well have been there, like the Kessel Run? Like, if I can ever time travel, I'm not going back in time to see my Uncle Dale that time that he scored a record number of touchdowns in one state. He never shuts up about it. I've seen that movie. No, I'm gonna go back in time to see the stuff he never talks about. Like the... to see the stuff he never talks about. Like the... Nope, I'm gonna go back in time to see the stuff he never talks about. Like the fan boat incident. Can't keep a lid on it forever. There's something inherently funny about fan boats. Well, Solo, unlike the fan boat, could have been worse. Because Han Solo has some weird stories. In Brian Daley's Han Solo's Revenge, Han and Chewie manage a movie theater. I mean, I guess you can't stay in the smuggling and intense pointing game forever. Gotta diversify. The theater is on a planet called Kamar, where harsh environments made water highly valuable. Things get choppy when they decide the only movie they're gonna run is a documentary called Varn, World of Water. The locals become obsessed with it and even form a cult around it, which it seems ridiculous, the idea of a cult forming around a movie, except that when they try to change what movie they're showing, the population riots and the duo has to flee the planet. Imagine. A planet where Kevin Costner's masterpiece Waterworld would finally get the respect it deserves. And there's a planet out there for you too, the postman.
I'm a representative of the United States government. Means I'm your postman.
I know what you're saying right now, 'cause I'm a telepath. I'm kidding, it's because my transitions are very hacky. You're saying, hey Joe, you're dragging Solo a lot harder than the other movies you've done. Aren't you worried about your Disney shill money? And to that question I answer, no. Because there is no Disney shill money. Because I would never recycle jokes. Recycling jokes is a sure sign that your series is wearing out, and since we're only on episode 3 of this thing, that would be really bad. So, Easter eggs are clearly going to be a staple of the Star Wars spin-off movies. It makes sense that the movies with plots consisting of "here are the things you remember" are stuffed with extra hidden things you'd remember. Eggs on eggs on eggs. It's like an egg stuffed in a bigger egg. It's like a Kinder egg, and when you open up the Kinder egg, there are more eggs in it. It's like a turducken made entirely of eggs, which would be disgusting. Solo's big Easter egg was Darth Maul and his little robot legs. A lot of people hated it, and it could have been worse, because Maul had a lame brother. I mean, like, the character himself was cool, but like, come on, his name was Savage Opress. Yeah, don't try to French that up. That's a stupid name. Like, I would have gone with Mian Bali or La Sting Cruelty, or Steve. I remember what you did, Steve. I don't know, plus it means now you've got to watch Clone Wars to understand the Darth Maul stuff, which, like, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a really cool show, but, like, goodbye free time. Where are you going to find all that free time? Obviously, I found the free time. Look at me, I'm wearing a Dragon shirt that I bought from a Ren Fair. Obviously, I've seen Clone Wars, but you might not be a Ren Fair caliber guy, and you don't want to watch Clone Wars, and now you got to learn about all this weird Darth Maul stuff. How's he live? Where did he get those legs? One thing I really enjoyed in Solo was the supporting cast. Honestly, I kind of wish they just called this movie the Kessel Run, made it an ensemble piece about Beckett's crew that Han just happened to be a part of, but no one asked me, you know? And if they did, I'd say no thank you, I'm very happy right where I am on YouTube. And then I'd laugh all the way to the bank in my 15-year-old Honda Accord. I mean, a lot of people just seem to really hate all the new characters we met. They weren't into L3 or Kira or that one Wookiee in the mines that looked like a furry Slender Man. We don't have the footage, but you know the one. He was terrifying. Yeah, you know the one. Oh my God, yeah. But hey guys, could have been worse. In one of the earliest tales of the expanded universe, way back in Marvel Star Wars #8, we met Jackson. He's a space rabbit that Han hired to defend a small town. And as you can see, he's sarcastic and deadly, and also a big green rabbit. He's so dumb that George Lucas asked Marvel to stop using him. Now I'm gonna skip the obvious, and that guy made Jar Jar joke, and I'm going to give you a fact of interest. A lot of people think Bucky O'Hare, who is also a green space rabbit, was a ripoff of Jackson. However, comic book legend Larry Hama actually created Bucky right around the same time Jackson was created for Marvel. It was like a span of a couple of months, so he's not really a ripoff, he's more the deep impact to Jackson's Armageddon, or the volcano to Jackson's Dante's Peak, except instead of volcanoes and Aerosmith songs, Roy Thomas, Howard Chaykin, and Larry Hama all had green space rabbit on the brain. Because drugs. Also, can we pump the brakes for a second and just back up a few comic book panels? Shout out to Don Juan Quixote. You see that guy with the lance? Man, that's real dumb. I mean, that honestly makes me a little embarrassed to love Star Wars. Where did I go wrong? There's also a porcupine guy. And that's today's show. Should I be, here, I'm gonna be eating this piece of bread. And that's today's show. See, no matter how much you don't like these movies, they can always be worse. Don't you feel better? I'm glad one of us does. I'm still mad we didn't get the Han Solo Smuggler flight pack. That's gotta be bad for your back. Like fanboat bad for your back. Fanboats, they're funny. They're funny. Did you guys ever notice that the Imperial symbol just looks like a butthole? Yeah, just a butthole.